Good morning. Well, it's morning for me. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Imani and I love all things planner and self-care related. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss new content. Y'all, today is a very fun video. I'm super excited to film this. I finally decided on some planner inserts for 2025. But what we are going to do is flip through my old planner setup from like 2 or 3 years ago because I'm using the same agenda. We're going to talk about it and then we're going to set up my 2025 planner. I'm super excited. So grab your coffee, your drink, your planner, your favorite beverage, whatever you need to get ready for this video. Come plan with me. Let's get started. So if you've been following me, you know that I have been dropping hints left and right about what I'm using this year as my planner spread, and I'm finally excited to share. I am going back to the A5 size because it's time. I missed her, and if you've been in the planner community for a while, then you know that A5 is really just half letter with different punching holes. And it's a slightly separate size, but they're so similar that you really wouldn't know the difference, right? I'm going to be using my Louis Vuitton, I think it's the biggest size. Yeah, it's the biggest size, whether it's GM or MM. I have no idea because I got this so long ago. And we are going to set this up for 2025. I'm super excited to be hopping back into it. But in the meantime, as you can see, it is still full. So I think what happened was one day back in like 2021 or 2022, I decided, hey, I don't think I want to use this anymore. So I just stopped. So there are definitely some older planner inserts in here. So what we are going to do is flip through those, take those out, archive them, and then we're going to set this planner up. So immediately I see one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to move back into like an agenda, preferably A5, and that's because of the pockets. I love pocket designs, and I love this layering moment here. So this is one of the clips from Cloth and Paper. It's like a black matte. Oh no, this is actually Ollie clip. Oh gosh. Okay, so this is from the Ollie clip and Cloth and Paper collaboration. And I know that because I don't know if this is gonna pick up on camera, but they have their logos here inside of the clip. So this is pretty old. And then I have some planner cards here. So there is, oh wow, this is from 2023. So not as old. I don't recall ever using, oh, you know what? No, I set this planner up last year for like business planning. That's what it was. And I just never used it because honestly, I discovered or rediscovered the beauty of notebooks. So really a lot of my business and content planning happens in notebooks. So as you can see, I did have a planner card about a year ago for August 2023. And then just some designs right here. So it's not as old of a setup as I thought, but it's definitely going to change. So this, I'm really glad I still have this because I like this layering moment here. This is a vellum dashboard, and then there's like this little marble moment happening behind it. And then we get into the thick of things. You know what? I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna share it, I don't care. You know what's incredibly funny? Like as I actually open it up and look into it, I realize like, I actually did not use this planner how I intended. So I'm flipping through and I'm like, oh, what are we going to discover today? So I actually have these monthly tabs over here. Well, they're really dividers, so monthly dividers, but then I also have it divided between schedule, notes and list, and then the financials back here. There's nothing in financials. Y'all know me, I don't really use that often enough. But as I'm flipping through, I realized I actually use this for the beginning of our wedding plans. So this was back when we were getting married at the end of August, and things have definitely changed since then because we're not getting married in August, we're getting married in July of next year. So This was definitely when I started using this as a wedding planner too. This was before I got the Erin Condren wedding planner, which also reminds me I need to give that away. So this is definitely all helpful. And what I love about this is that I have all of these inserts. So let me take all of these out because we can definitely use these again. So these are just notes and line inserts from cloth and paper. Then we have some task delegation and my trusty monthly admin inserts, which I missed so much. If you've been watching the last few videos, you might have realized that I ran out of them. So I'm really glad that I picked those up in my latest haul, which I'm also excited to share. So May of this year, I was supposed to finalize my guest list. And to be very frank and honest with you, I think that's when I realized like, I don't know if I want to do the big wedding thing because it was really hard to narrow down that guest list. So we got some more inserts here. Ooh, this is a really nice dashboard. I love that green. It says your only limit is your mind, and then it has like some really inspiring words behind it. It looks like quotes from different people actually. And then this is another cloth and paper dashboard where it talks about grit, and it's actually like, I don't know if that picked up on the audio, but it's like a textured dashboard, which I love. So we're definitely saving that as well. Then we have, and these were all just like the monthly layouts here, but that's, yeah, we're definitely keeping all of this. So let me put that in the keep file because we're gonna reuse that, y'all. I don't know why we wouldn't. So this ended up being less of an interesting kind of flip through than I thought. I really thought this was like my planner setup from like 2021, and I would have loved to go back and see what I was doing in 2021. But haha, funny on me. Ooh, another monthly admin. This is gonna be good. I don't even recall using this at the beginning of the year. So then we have another monthly admin and then like a December kind of dashboard. Okay, so I'm gonna take, honestly, let's just start over. We're gonna take everything out, including all of the dividers. Oh, I think this is the earliest I've ever set up a 2025 planner, but given how I use my planner nowadays, I think I need to set it up this early because I'm very much into kind of like quarterly planning and trying to think ahead. So I've already been thinking about Q1 of next year, especially throughout the different areas of self-care. So just quick fun fact, if you didn't know, there are 8 areas of self-care. So I've been thinking about what does self-care look like for me in Q1 of 2025. So I think it'll be helpful to have this set up now rather than like waiting in December. So I'm gonna actually close these, and this here is my biggest complaint when it comes to like ring binders is I hate messing with the what are these, the rings themselves, because I don't want any gapping or anything like that. So I'm actually just gonna leave it open because what we are going to do is we'll walk through my latest planner haul. Let's get started. I'm so excited about this. So very quickly, I won't walk through the pens that I purchased because they're kind of boring and I use them already. So the gray one is the Uni pen, and that's an oil-based pen that I like to use on transparent sticky notes. I have like 3 or 4 laying around everywhere, maybe like 2 or 3 at home and then 2 or 3 at work as well, because I use transparent sticky notes a lot. So I like to keep a stash of them just in case Cloth and Paper decides they don't want to sell them anymore. And then the second pen is actually a More and Shine pen, and that is in the color, I think I got white instead of silver. Yeah, this is the white one. Those pens are really good for the black sticky notes that you all see me using a lot. If you're interested in those will be linked below. They're the best because they're extra sticky, and I don't have that issue where like you lie it down and then like the bottom part is like flaring up or like doesn't stick well. No, those things stick, and if you need to move it, there's no residue that's left over. So I like those. Okay, this is really interesting. This is a planner brooch set. My guess would be this is probably dropping in on Black Friday. I like those. I can't lie to you. I really do like those. So I'm excited. They look to be gold. Let me bring that up to the camera for you all. I do think that's gold. So one looks like it says Cloth and Paper, when I see icon, and I'll be transparent, I cannot read what that says. I have no idea. So we're just gonna skip that, but I really like those as well. So first item up, I don't think I actually bought these. This is just a sample of the Ristretto Eclipse sticker samples. So they're probably transparent if I had to guess. Let me open them quickly. It's always so hard to get off the little stickers and the little dots with nails. It's so incredibly hard. But as you can see, it is kind of transparent, but that color still stands out. And I really like the tans. Y'all know me, I'm really into like the tans and browns right now. So that's pretty cute as well. I don't know how I would use them. I think I would just need to get creative. So we'll see if we can get creative with those. Oof, I'm looking at these items on the side, and y'all, I am so excited for these. These two I won't take out of the plastic quite yet because I think they're pretty straightforward. These are the notes insert. Yeah, they call these lined notes, and I think this is the task planner inserts. Yep, task planner inserts. Again, from Cloth and Paper. I love lines. Y'all probably have heard me say that a million times by now, but also I think this is really important to have in that middle divider, the notes and list section. So y'all know that I sit on that nonprofit board. There are definitely times where I have committee meetings and I'm planning on paper. So I like to use just plain notes and lines for that. So this is primarily going to sit in the notes and list section, but chances are I'll probably also need these occasionally in the schedule section as well. So schedule is where I like to have my weekly and monthly schedule. I think that's pretty obvious, but it's all personal. So y'all know me, I can't share the work planner, although I will show how I set it up for 2025. But again, these will sit in my personal schedule section as well if I needed to. Next up is, no surprise, monthly admin. I love the monthly admin stickers. Let's pull it out and talk about it. For me, the monthly admin insert is so important because I don't use the monthly layout in the kind of like weekly day-to-day inserts that I use. So this is so important. It's really important for me to just see the month laid out, not only when I digitally plan, which is usually in like Google Calendar, but just seeing it on paper here is so important. I've missed it the past couple months because I think the last time I had it was August. I'll have to look back on that, but I'm so excited to start using these again next year. I don't know what I'm gonna do for December. We'll just figure it out. I really do think I used my last one, so it is what it is. But I'm holding out hope that December will like fly by. It'll be great, and then we'll get to January and I can lay this out. Super excited for that. Next up is one of my favorite inserts. This is actually part of the project bundle of inserts from Cloth and Paper, but I use these to track self-care. So I mean, you can really use it for almost anything. I'm thinking like if you wanted to do a project and you needed like daily tasks, you could track it that way. For me, it just works really well with self-care because I can list out all of the kind of habits and rituals that I want to do daily and then track it on paper. And it gives you a nice visual of how well you're doing. It's funny because you might not do something for like Monday through Thursday and you think to yourself, oh, that's not bad. But then you see it on paper and I'm like, oh, I need to do better. So if you are focusing on new self-care rituals and habits next year, try tracking them visually, whether that's digital or on paper. I really think it helps get it out of your head and on a paper, so then that way like you can see your progress. I think that's really helpful. Okay, this next insert I think is pretty new to Cloth and Paper. It's like the focus inserts. Yeah, focus insert. And I really like it because up here you can kind of have like a title or an area of focus, and then you can take copious notes down here. But I think what was really intriguing to me is how small the lines are. Like when you go from wide rule to college rule, that feels like such a major difference. This feels like double college rule. So for comparison, this is how far apart the lines are here, which it's probably like centimeters and millimeters at that point. And then look at it compared to the back page of this dashboard here. It's such a vivid difference. I am a little worried about this because y'all know my handwriting is kind of like large and bubbly. I don't know if I'll be able to use this in a way that makes a lot of sense as far as like writing. I might have to like double the line that I use. So, I mean, let's just pull out a pen. So instead of writing like this, that feels so restrictive. Like maybe I would need to write like this. I don't know, like it felt really restrictive there, but then that looks too big. So I'll figure it out. Chances are if I can't use them, fine. Like maybe it'll still be really good for brainstorming, which is helpful for like board meeting minutes, or if we're planning something on a committee, like the party planning committee I'm part of. It can also be good just to layer things on top of. So like if I'm planning on sticky notes, I can throw the sticky note here and still write the focus up there, and it'll work for me. So it was intriguing. I bought it. I don't know how it'll go in like the day-to-day practice, but I'll definitely keep y'all updated on that. To absolutely no surprise, I also purchased some dashboards and inserts. So this is kind of just like a decorative dashboard. It really does not add any sort of like maybe functional value, but it definitely adds some aesthetic value. And I don't know, I feel like you definitely need a balance of both to not get bored or complacent with your planner. So I'm a big proponent of incorporating some things just for aesthetics, because who cares? It's your planner. So as long as it's gonna help you use it, do it. I really liked this. I think it's from August because of the 08 up there, but it's so small it doesn't really bother me. This is also kind of textured as well. I don't know if that's coming up on audio, but it's definitely like a harder cardstock, or thicker cardstock rather. Beautiful, we love it. We're adding it to the planner for sure. Next up is something that was really intriguing to me when I was just perusing the website. I was really intrigued by the different options on these sort of like vellum dashboards, and I got the one that's more geared towards like productivity. I think they had one that was more like daily, weekly, monthly, or like monthly, yearly, quarterly. I got the Daily Digest, which is a debrief, a breakdown, and prioritization. Tasks and to-dos, which is get it done and check it off. And then meetings and notes. So action items to remember, odds and ends. I think this is going to be incredibly helpful to help divide up the notes and list section in my planner. So if I'm using it for the board tasks that I have, right? I have meetings and notes in here for not only the board meetings, but the committee meetings. Then I have some tasks and to-dos over here, which are incredibly important because I think it's hard to kind of keep in mind those tasks in between meetings. And then I have a Daily Digest. I don't know if I would need the Daily Digest as much, but I do think these two are helpful. And I was thinking that if this doesn't work for the notes and list section, I could always use it for the few pages of like business and content related things that I inevitably write down in my planner. I think that's kind of like the big secret that I have, is like I plan everywhere. I plan everywhere and anywhere. If an idea comes to mind, or like a task comes to mind that I want to accomplish, y'all, I promise you, I write it down on some random sticky note, or wherever I'm planning. The nearest paper to me is usually where it goes. So you'll hear me say like, oh, I plan primarily on this. I don't really like to talk in absolutes because I plan everywhere and anywhere. So if this doesn't work in the notes and list section for the board tasks that I have, then we'll figure it out. It'll be used for sure. So as y'all saw, I have a lot of A5 dividers, and honestly, I bet if I looked in my stash, I could find even more, because A5 was the first planner size I like settled in after I tried a few different companies and a few different types of inserts and planners before settling on, not settling, but deciding that A5 is what worked best for me. And this is back in like 2020, maybe even 2019. So I know I have quite a few dividers lying around, but I did want to try a few new ones. So I have the Today, but the low profile Today one. This will be really good to kind of have in the schedule section. And then I also purchased the inbox and the outbox. I really want to get better at organizing things and not just having it like really visually prioritizing items, right? So like if I walk away from a board meeting and I have a list of tasks, I know that I could start moving them through the inbox and the outbox and crossing things off that way as well. So that's really my intent, to use these dividers next year. Will that happen? We'll see. I'll keep you updated, but I thought it was nice to ask. I think the problem I'm gonna have initially is like, I think all of these dividers are like different inks, different colors, so we'll have to make it work. I don't think it's gonna bother me as much, because that's not something that matters to me, at least not right now. I might change my mind on that. But for now, I really do like these dividers. And then of course I'm gonna use what was already in the planner to kind of help settle between like schedule, notes and list, and the finances, which I never use. And now for the main set of inserts I decided on for planning throughout the year. So I got some dated ones right here. Number one, getting new planner inserts reminds me of like back to school shopping. Let me know in the comments below if it's the same thing for you. I loved back to school shopping when I was a kid because I just loved fresh stationery and fresh like supplies, whether it was pens, binders, paper, notebooks. I absolutely loved it, and going through all of these items brings me back to those years. But I look at this in particular and how thick it is. I'm in heaven. These are going to be my inserts for the year of 2025. Let's open them up and walk through them. So here is the beginning of the planner, kind of like the first page. I love that. I think you could incorporate this into your planner if you really wanted to. It's not like it's dated something. It doesn't just say January. It actually says yearly planner down here. I would love to incorporate this into my planner because of the words that are on here. I won't read everything, but I will read up here where it says, live each day with a sense of wonder and gratitude, recognizing the potential for growth and transformation in every moment. I love that quote. Sometimes I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to grow and be better and develop. But honestly, for me, I just try to be like 0.5% better than I was the day before. And that looks different, right? Like I might be better in one thing, but then like suck at another and kind of step back, but step forward on something else. So for me, it's just such a helpful reminder as I like walk into the new year. I'm definitely gonna incorporate this. Let me know if you're gonna incorporate like the beginning kind of planner sheet in your planner as well. So of course we have this planner belongs to, then we have the name, address, phone number, and memo. My personal planner does not leave my side. It stays primarily at home if I'm at work. And then over the weekend, like if I go to my parents' house to watch my nephew, or if I go to like a coffee shop to work, of course I'll take my personal planner. It doesn't leave my side though. Like if I go to the bathroom, I put my things away. I make sure no one's gonna take this planner, but I'll still fill it out. Before we start, I'll mention that this is just a Muji pen in 0.5. It's the Smooth Gel Ink Ballpoint Pen Knock Type 0.5 in black. So I just kept things simple here and just wrote my name, the city that I live in, so Buffalo, and my email address, because again, I don't really think I'm gonna lose this planner. Now watch, I have to eat my words next year, but because it primarily stays at home and if it does travel with me, it's like in my parents' home. I don't think I'm gonna lose it, which is why I'm not gonna put like a phone number or my actual address or anything. I think this is more than enough. Next, we have A Year at a Glance, and I really do love this one. I think I'm gonna start filling this out immediately because I like to highlight birthdays and the other important things that I know. So for example, we are getting married, I think the 19th or the 20th. I say I think because I don't think we set a date yet, but I'll definitely highlight whatever date we decide to choose. And then I know I have like a family reunion next year, which is very close to my wedding, so I don't know if I'll be able to go, but I'll still highlight that as well. Next up is the holidays and observances. I love that they call it also observances because not all of it is like a holiday, like tax day. That is not a happy day for me, so I don't consider that to be a holiday. But they have a lot of other fun observances as well, like National Planner Day, Book Lovers Day. We love to see that. World Gratitude Day, World Mental Health Day, Small Business Saturday. There are a lot of different observances and holidays that they list out here, which I think is pretty inclusive and pretty cool. You see, I bought all of this kind of like pre-Black Friday because I didn't want a lot of this to sell out, but pulling out my current planner reminded me that I need to get a fluted dashboard for my A5 planner as well, because I absolutely love the fluted dashboard. I think it's one of the most creative things I've seen from cloth and paper this year. I absolutely love it, but I wanted to flip to what the month looks like now. As you can see, I'm definitely out of date on my gratitude. I mentioned last week that a family member was having surgery this week. It went successful, but your girl has been a caregiver this past week along with my dad. So it's a lot, it's stressful, but we're gonna make it through. So this is going back to planning. This is what the kind of beginning dashboard of the week or the month looks like rather. It's just a quote that repeats. So I think this is a very welcome change to the beginning of the month. So here you can definitely see how similar A5 and half letter are. It's just that half letter is taller but kind of skinnier, and then A5 is not as tall but definitely wider. So this is like a nice change. We still get a quote. Up here it just talks about passion. It says, oh, it's a definition, and then down here it's not just the quote repeating itself, it's like this full thought out. Oh, I'm lying to you. I'm lying. Okay, it says we must act out passion before we can feel it. So that repeats, but down here, it looks like there's like a completely separate, like all of this is different from up here and it doesn't repeat down here. So I'm not gonna read all that, but I do think that's a really welcome change because I can highlight it up here, but still get something different out of down here. And my guess would be that it's the same for every month as well, but I'm not gonna go through all of those. Okay, so then we have this kind of dashboard layout. This is what it currently looks like here. I did not like the goals up here because they were so skinny and my handwriting is too big for like skinny spaces. However, here it looks a lot wider. I know for sure I could use this. So that's why I was super happy with the changes this year. I don't know if they like heard me, but thank you Cloth and Paper for like changing this layout. I'm glad they got rid of that like skinny to-do list on the side. I'm like, I definitely can't use that. So I think we gained better real estate here. We still have room for important dates and some priorities here. I think for the priorities, you don't really have that much as far as like real estate to write each priority, but I think they're priorities, right? So you shouldn't have like 25 priorities. I think it'll be important that I'm really diligent and intentional about what I choose to write here as a priority. So that is a change that's gonna happen this year. I'm actually gonna try to use this in January. We'll see how it goes. The bills, I have more bills than that. So I wouldn't use this one down here, but maybe I could write the kind of unique bill. So like, for example, Amazon, we pay like a yearly subscription for, so I could write that, and it's due in January, I think. I would write that here as well. The monthly layout looks primarily the same, definitely a little on the small side for me. I'm gonna try it again this year. I feel like I try it at least once every 6 months to see that if it works for me. We'll see. We'll definitely see. What I continue to love about it, even though I haven't been using it lately, is the notes sections that they give you before the weekly planning starts. But again, I think that just shows how small the lines are on the focus inserts. Like, this is tiny, very, very tiny. So we'll see how that works for me. Are you surprised? Are you surprised that this is the layout I chose? I'm not straying from this layout. I don't like the grid layout on the horizontal inserts. I don't plan by the hour, so that doesn't work really well for me. This is it, y'all. If it's not broken, it's not going to be fixed, so it's not changing. I decided to stick with the same layout because I love the priorities here. I love the calendar here, and I love that I have the freedom. If I want to make an hourly layout, I can plan out my schedule, right? But it doesn't force me to write down what I'm doing by the hour, and it doesn't force me to write down like that scheduling by time. I could write down whatever I want. If I want to write down just like a list of affirmations, I can do that. If I want to write, oh, today's my birthday, or like happy last day of Kwanzaa, I can write that because I have enough space. So I love this layout. I chose intentionally to not stray from it because it works so well for me. I do want to encourage myself to be a little more creative this year, but you know, it's fine. It works. I like the openness to it, and I really can just write whatever the heck I want to write. So at the end of the inserts, you do get a notes section right here. I think this will be really good to use if you want to carry things over into February, because I don't have I don't keep like all the months in one, and I still don't think I'm gonna do that, even though I'm gonna have more space with the rings. I think I'm only gonna keep the current month in there. That may change, we'll see, but we like it, we love it. This isn't going anywhere. Okay, in this last portion of the video, I'm actually not gonna plan for next week because next week is Thanksgiving. I'm off on PTO. I don't have any meetings. My birthday is on Tuesday, but I'll be the primary caregiver for my family member that just had surgery, so there's nothing to plan. I'm just gonna be reading all day, taking care of her, and having a good time, not at work. So we aren't planning for the next week. I probably won't even clean out the inserts or use them in any way. If I'm writing anything down, it's probably gonna be business or content related anyway, so that's when a notebook comes in. So what we're gonna do instead is set up my A5 planner and my LV agenda. Super excited. Let's get started. Okay, this is my planner setup so far. What I love about rings is that you have just at least what feels like so much more space to plan. And I thought I was gonna be like packed with this, but I actually have a lot more room. So I think as time goes on, of course, there'll be inserts added. But right now it feels like a little skinny. It feels a little skinny, y'all. But I have the schedule section set up where I have the new dashboard that I got. I will say, I think once I add the fluted dashboard that I'm gonna buy on Black Friday, this will be full. And then I have the beginning of next year with the dashboard for January, a monthly admin right in the middle of the calendar, and then that's where I have my self-care tracker as well. Then we get to the notes, and then we have the weeks laid out. I immediately jumped into notes and lists here. Usually I'll have like a few lined inserts back here. I'll add that later, but those are really helpful. Actually, I'll just add it right now. I'll just say those are really helpful if I need to plan like a quick list. So the last time I used this, for example, is when I went to Delaware back in October. I needed just like quick paper to reference. So I flipped to the end of the notes and list section and then used some of the inserts that were there. So those are really helpful. Next section is notes and lists with the grit dashboard, more notes and lists, of course. This is primarily what I'll use for whatever I want it to. Sometimes you'll get business and content stuff. Other times, again, you'll get the board, a nonprofit board related task as well. Here's where I put the inbox and the outbox. So this is where I wanted to start using the board stuff for sure. So I put the daily digest in the to-dos, which got messed up from candle ash, but it is what it is. Like, it'll be fine. I'm not worried. And then I put meeting notes back here. So my thought is to kind of use the inbox and outbox in these daily digests and task to-dos to kind of organize things here. And then I'll just keep the meeting notes back here that I have. So we'll see if that works. I think I like that layout for sure. And then I started a separate section where I have the work in progress dashboard to divide things. And I did put January, February, March, just in case I wanted to have separate space for any business or content planning or whatever brainstorming sessions I have directly in the planner, and I can divide it by quarter because again, that's how my brain thinks. And then at the end, I just have finances, but nothing back there. Maybe I'll decide to try it in the middle of the year. Y'all know me, I'm always willing to try something again. We'll see if it works, but for now, it's just gonna be blank. That is my planner set up for 2025. I am going to do another video showing my full planner stack because of course I have a separate work planner. There's only going to be 2 planners in my planner stack for 2025, at least in the beginning, and then we'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited with changing back to A5 and seeing how that goes. So let me know your thoughts below. What are you using? What's going to be your everyday carry? I'm really excited to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions about the products you've seen in today's video, be sure to let me know in the comments below. Again, have a great week. Happy Thanksgiving to those of you in the United States, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.